The 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Covered by Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
Well, time constraints will not allow us to repeat the prize pack that we're offering twice. So just know this. When I go to the end of this segment, Beef will tell you what you can win.
It's a bonanza.
But you're going to want to be listening because at 641-1010, when I say go, you may want to call in. This is one you'll want to take home.
Again, heads up to the Googans who are new to this. It's at the end of the segment.
End of the segment. Not right now, guys. And the other thing, as we welcome you back and go through some sports concepts and rationalizations, known as the 10-minute drill, are we in the mood of giving today again? Are we handing out certain things for?
Oh, hell yes, Dan.
Yeah, Jags Colts tickets later in the show, not right now, but be listening. We'll do that maybe in the 8 o'clock hour.
4-pack.
And if I'm feeling giddy, I don't know if we have time for it today, but we'll maybe play a game or maybe I'll just give them away. What do you think, Jeffrey?
Just give them away.
We'll just
Dan,
give them
it's
away.
Super
I'm not in
Tuesday.
game playing mode here. It's not in my contract, and I will follow.
Hey, Jeff, thanks a lot. Bucks. You ruined a potential really good NBA game before Christmas. That would be the Bucks.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's ruined.
It's ruined. Beef.
That's silly.
Milwaukee? What is it? The Bucks lost last night.
Well, they lost to Dallas without.
Actually, it's pronounced Milwaukee.
I'm sorry.
Which is Algonquin for the good land.
Also
Okay.
known as Cream City.
Cream City, which
they
again
wore
they
those
had
again
them
last
on.
night,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they lost to my favorite Western
Busting
Conference
out
team.
with the lead Milwaukee Bucks this morning. I like it. I like your
That's other things.
versatility.
This is what we're doing. It's other things. It's
I
called
know it
sports
is.
concepts and rationalizations.
Correct.
This is your point.
Yeah,
chance to make a good point about the Milwaukee Bucks.
I'm going to make the point
And
right now.
Giannis had 48 last night.
My point about the Milwaukee Bucks is, what in the blazes are you even talking about? This doesn't take any luster off of the Lakers game.
A lot of luster. Lost.
The teams lose.
Not paying attention now.
Teams lose.
Wake me up. It was going to be like 18 wins in a row against 19 wins in a row. Is all good.
So instead, it'll be 22-4
that's
against
disappointing.
21-3.
You know,
So
I'm not
it's still a great
I'm
game.
not talking association until next week. Christmas.
Has your guy Budenholzer taken a page out of Frank Vogel's book and warned the Bucks about malaise?
Get us some malaise.
Booty.
Yeah.
Booty's
You
ticked.
get a little ahead of yourself. Did you see, by the way, God bless Bills Mafia, who we forget. They did something, we got mad at them, but we've long since forgiven them.
I like Bills Mafia.
I can only imagine what's going to happen in the postseason. I mean, there's going to be sex toys flung onto the field and people doing pile driving off the top of RVs. I mean, these folks are nuts. Just how nuts? Did you happen to see the Bills return from Pittsburgh?
No.
Yeah, at the airport after the Bills at about 2 a.m, Bills Mafia was there. And I mean hundreds upon hundreds. Like a college team returning from the planes after winning their first title.
Yeah.
It's I got a
good for them
photo right here that I can share for your viewing pleasure.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, you see Josh Allen? Is that the one you see? Look at this one. Look at the guys, man. Look at the fans climbing the fence behind Josh Allen. Jägermeister in hand.
They just so badly want to win up there.
They do want to win, and they're in great shape. How about this? You want to hear? This sums up Buffalo. I got this for you, right?
Yeah.
This is a good one. You're going to like this.
Uh-huh.
So Buffalo plays New England this week, right?
Uh-huh.
Buffalo really can't win the division.
Right, because they have to win both, and New England has to lose both.
To Miami,
right,
which isn't happening. Now, if the Bills go to New England and win this week, you know what's going to happen? If the other teams in the AFC with the good records win out, I'll share you the drama in the Q&A. The Patriots are going to fall to the 4 seed, from the 2 to the 4, because the Texans have the tiebreaker over them because they beat the Patriots.
Yeah.
So, bottom line, if you're the Bills, you might want to ask yourself, who do I want to play in the first round of the playoffs? Do I want to go play at New England?
Yeah.
Or do I want to go play at Houston? Because I am the 5 seed no matter what. The Bills can win their last 2. They can lose their last 2. They're going to be the 5 seed.
Right.
So it's kind of a sketchy. So, in other words, if you do go beat New England this Saturday and pull off the upset, your reward, you're going to have to go back and play New England again, most likely, in the first weekend of the playoffs. So just an interesting scenario there.
I don't want to misspeak on this, but I've always kind of talked about the similarities between Buffalo and Jacksonville. I always feel like Buffalo is sort
We're
of
the tropical version.
Jacksonville, huh?
We're the tropical version.
Yeah, Jacksonville North, good, hard-working, blue-collar.
Yeah.
They love
We're a little smarter here, too.
whatever. I'm not comparing. I'm just saying.
You just mean the mentality.
Yeah, the mentality.
Market size.
Small market. I do think, too, I think they got good owners up there, the Pagulas. And it's not just because they own the Bills and kept the Bills in Buffalo at a time where things were getting a little shaky.
And still done it without really doing anything to the stadium.
He also owns the Sabres.
Correct.
But he's like Shad Khan. He is building up the infrastructure of Buffalo as well. He's doing things, from what I understand, in downtown Buffalo to make Buffalo a better place to live. Which I just think it's cool. I like what the Pagulas do. They seem to be a lot about charity and such, and I think they got some. I think they have some good ownership up there with the Pagulas, and I do think I may be wrong here. And again, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I do think that the fan base has embraced them as well. The difference is, though, they're winning football games, man. They did what we went a little farther in 2017.
But they built a steadier
They went and got the
base there.
quarterback, and now they're sort of building around him and working out and kept their defense very good. And they have a star corner who they like, who plays hard and gets interceptions.
I'm starting to.
We traded ours.
I'm starting to evolve my thoughts on Josh Allen into this. And again, I don't believe he'll ever be an accurate quarterback. He misses just too many easy throws.
Right.
But Cam Newton won an MVP and went to the Super Bowl without being an accurate quarterback.
Right.
So I think Josh Allen's probably a comparison for Josh Allen's probably more Cam Newton than it should be Ben Roethlisberger or anyone else.
Speaking of Cam Newton, Jeff Prosser, he is the fourth Gator transfer quarterback who has started a game in the NFL this year. And him aside, if you're wondering why Champ is in Columbia and Butters is in Mount Pleasant, it's because Jacoby Brissett and Jeff Driscoll and Will Grier all ended up their college careers in different places.
Yeah.
So when you have an NFL starting caliber quarterback at college, you probably ought to kind of wrap your arms around him and nurture and grow with him.
It's even
not run him off.
It's even worse for Champ. He had two of them.
Yeah.
He had Driscoll and Brissett.
He did, and both ended up leaving.
And couldn't manage them to nothing because he's a dimwit on offense.
But I thought that was interesting when I heard that Will Grier was going to start yesterday. Three, and I really didn't count Cam until somebody reminded me of that, but three former Gators will have started games in the NFL now. Four former Gators, but none of them ending up their career at the University of Florida.
We've talked to recruiting and we've talked to Gator perspective a lot.
Oh, Ox is going to be calling in today.
Do we get someone else?
Oh, I know.
Huh?
Yeah,
you got nothing.
Oh,
Give me
no,
info.
he's been sending me texts.
Oh,
and lighting
what's
me
he
up.
got? What's he
Wow.
doing?
Tell
him if it's
Ox Gator recruiting report.
If he's not, tell him if he's not laying a 5-star at my feet, don't call.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
Don't call about another, we got number 212, a 4-star. We stole him from Auburn. I don't care. Give me a 5-star or stop calling. Stop calling our radio program with your tales of flipping the 292nd ranked recruit in the country, which is good, but, No, I was going to say, though, is, FSU also has to recruit, Dan.
Okay.
And to that end, Mike Norvell's off to a good start. Remember some of those kids who had committed to FSU and then they changed their commitments? He's gotten a couple of those guys back. He's flipped another couple of guys. And, look, he was in a rare position of often when you step into a program where changes you don't have a top 20 recruiting class. Well, FSU had one, and he's repairing what was even better one. And so it looks like FSU's going to end up maybe with a top 15 recruiting class, which will speed up their timeline of getting back to, I wouldn't say relevant, more than relevant. You don't have a goal to be relevant at FSU, right? Your goal is to be
absolutely
a champion. So
yeah,
we'll see. Is this? And I know we'll talk more about this, but I think it's worthy of mentioning here. 7:30 on a Tuesday morning. Is this Can Tom Coughlin escape this?
Oh, that would be tough.
Yeah. I mean, but this and everything else that's gone on, it's just and I just feel like there just needs to be a total change, just for just a cleanse.
Right.
The organization just needs a cleanse. We need some fresh views, some fresh faces, and new vision, and this is just. And this is more editorial than it is fact-based.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, how this Tom Coughlin career is going to end.
Right.
It's culminating with the worst possible timing. You have the oldest of that old guard, get off my lawn, tough guy.
Right.
With an emerging sensitivity towards athletes and athletes' rights, and it's just it's the wrong time. It's a combustible mix, and Tom's ways are in the past, and they're not coming back.
Yeah.
You're not. You could have it almost reminds me of this, the rationalization for fining or making things mandatory, which you don't have the rules. Look, you may have you might feel you need to, spank your child with a switch.
Right.
But if you do,
right,
you may go to jail.
Yeah.
Whether or not you think it's appropriate and whether or not it would be.
Yeah. Yeah, ask Adrian Peterson.
Well, sure.
Yeah, listen, rules are in place under the CBA, and rules have to be followed. And if the Jaguars try to do it their way, well, then what has happened is the rules are also in place for the CBA to say, okay, well, wait a minute, you guys aren't following the rules. That's not fair. Let's bring in the arbitrator. The arbitrator came in, ruled in favor of the National Football League Players Association and against the Jaguars and TC. So that's where we're at.
It's unfortunate to me, and some people might quibble with this or be disappointed in this, but I don't care.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate to me that Dante Fowler Jr. gets to be the spokesperson or the beneficiary of this. Dante Fowler Jr. was a terrible employee and teammate and immature and didn't do what he was supposed to. He got more notice for knuckleheaded things off the field than he did, and I can imagine the frustration of the Jaguars knowing they have an injured player who in the offseason isn't doing anything at all to make sure he's ready for the season.
Well,
so,
yeah, right.
I get that. So to me, this would carry a lot more weight if it was Unique Ngakoue or Calais Campbell with me.
Right. Because
Dante was a mess.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole time he was here.
We don't know how many sacks does Dante have this year, by the way?
I want to say like 4.
9.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Or 9.
4 or 9, one or the other. So he's having a good season. He'll have double-digit sacks, which is about, a good football player, and certainly they could use him here, and ultimately they ended up trading him. But yeah, so listen, the bottom line is the bottom line here, and we'll know. As I said, a lot of this may be moot here in about 13 days because Black Monday is coming in the NFL, and that's when, and we all know something's going to happen, and the question is, and only Shad Khan knows, and the question is, what is he going to do? Is he going to keep any of the 3, Coughlin, Caldwell, Marone? Is he going to clean house? Is he going? What direction is this franchise going to take? And there's still 2 games left. Is there any way, shape, or form, if they win these 2 games and get to 7-9, that changes the thinking of the owner? Because winning and losing is all that matters in the NFL. So
for sure,
yeah. But I don't know.
Well, apparently not. It's not all that matters. Winning within the rules and confines of how you're allowed to manage your team.
Well, in a way, I disagree because I'll stand by what I said. If the Jags were 9-5, nobody would care as much about this.
Well, that's true too.
As the story that it became yesterday, especially on social media.
Right.
But you're 5-9, and it's just another reason why we're no good.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Many reasons.
Yeah.
A bad locker room and immature, unaccountable players is part of that reason.
I hate to see Josh Gordon go down again. Man, oh man, this guy has been. I don't know how many times do we have a number on him? 5, 6 times,
4 or 5
6
at
years.
Least,
It's to me, it's a sad story. It's not a it's just a sad story, and obviously he cannot whatever. And do we know what it is? Do we know what?
They haven't said.
Yeah, is it alcohol? I always think it was alcohol.
The one thing about there's another thing too, and I love how people that don't have anything to do with the story or anything about Josh Gordon, they immediately throw the addict card out there, and he may or may well be an addict. But the deal is this: he is under such stringent, rules.
Yeah, but there's too many stories out there. And also,
I mean, if he drinks a beer, Dan, he gets popped.
Yeah, well, Yeah.
Now I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. I don't.
I mean, I got to
have no
think
idea.
the definition of an addict. Part of the definition of an addict, though, is if you let it affect your everyday life. And to me, that's affecting his everyday life. He's a football player,
Sure.
who can't play football.
I guess the only reason I'm hesitant is we probably all have something that we don't define as an addiction that affects your everyday.
Yeah, but I think
life.
there's
to a negative.
I just think there's too
standpoint.
many.
There's no
for
doubt.
him. Yeah.
Right.
So I just, like I said, I think it's a sad tale, and a tale that will not end well. Todd McShane, a mock draft. I want to get to that when we come back, but I will say this. I thought about something I said this summer, and I kind of stand by it.
Oh, no, here it comes.
I told you this a week ago or whatever, and you jogged my memory this morning. You told me, did Alabama have 7 first-round picks?
In the mock draft, yeah.
7.
Yeah, 7.
This many. 7 of the 22 are first-round picks, including the quarterback.
Number 4 overall to the Dolphins, to Tagovailoa.
And yet, they're not even in the Final Four.
Well, they didn't have the quarterback in one of those losses.
One of those. But they're not in the Final Four.
That's correct.
Okay, my question to you is this. I kiddingly said this summer when we first saw these types of projections that if Nick Saban didn't win a natty, he should be fired. Okay?
I don't think you were kidding. You were very vehement.
Okay.
You have that, Beef? Did we save that?
I don't think so. But anyway, what I will say though is this. Did he do a good coaching job this year? You have 7 first-round picks, and a lot of them, Jeff, are on defense. That defense was crap. Alabama's defense was not very good this year, was it?
That was strange because normally they are. And they've got three guys off the defense on here.
I'm just asking you, in all honesty, I'm asking you a question. Is that a good coaching job by Nick Saban then?
Well, if Alabama, with their recruiting every year and their abundance of 5 stars, if they don't go to the playoff, it's not a good coaching year. And this is the first time they have it. So
correct. I'm not saying fire him.
No, I know.
I'm just kiddingly, I brought that up this summer to make a point, though, that, my gosh, it's almost an unfair. I mean, how many games did Alabama have this year? Where they were challenged? 2?
Yeah,
they lost them both.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Well, they played some other decent teams.
Who?
But yeah, they played
Decent.
the entire SEC West.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they lost 2 of them.
Yeah. Mississippi State, Arkansas.
Yeah. I'm just, if you look at the end of the day, though, they would have played 6 or 7 bowl teams this year. It's not like they were atrocious, I guess. Texas A&M's a decent team, especially when they beat them. Tennessee's a bowl team. They beat them. You got to play who you are. I guess my point is, who's Ohio State beating? They're going to get credit for Purdue, and Alabama's not for Tennessee or whoever it is. It's also relative. At the end of the day, it's how do those big boys going to match up with each other?
Yeah.
And Alabama played 2 of the big boys, and they got punked.
Yeah.
And so they don't get to play.
Get to play.
Alabama fell so far, Dan, that right now in every major ranking, evaluation you can find, the world has determined that Florida is better than Alabama.
That's the amazing thing is
better
that
bowl, better ranking, better playoff ranking.
But, normally when Alabama loses a natty, they come back with a vengeance the following year.
Uh-oh.
And they lost the natty, and they didn't come back with a vengeance this year. They went 10-2. Again, I'm not – listen.
You're saying it's over. The dynasty's dead.
No, I'm not saying that either. I'd love to be Alabama, okay? I just think that's interesting. All right, here we go, Beef. One time only. Caller number 5 at 641-1010. Rattle off the prize pack. Guggen's ready, go.
Caller number 5 right now, Dan. 641-1010. Got to take home a selection from the 1010XL Holiday Gift Guide. Today's prize pack features a $50 gift card to Edwin Watts, a $25 gift certificate from Bellwether, and an RC Outlet gift certificate valued at $30. Those are all part of the 1010XL Holiday Gift Guide. Find those and other great gift ideas at 1010XL.com. We'll take caller 5 right now, 641-1010.